Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll show you how to make this small mesh bag just in time for summer for the beautiful season. This is a perfect model to wear in the evening, maybe during parties or dinners, but also during the day with a casual look. I'll now show you everything we used to make this bag. We used a 250-gram ball of Pandorino yarn, and we used this electric blue color. Pandorino is a yarn you see round, flattened though, with a diameter of about 3 to 4 millimeters, and it's very, very stretchy. You'll find the yarn balls in the yarn section of our website, macrè_bag.it. Go take a look because there are many colors, including a new one. We used a size 6.5 crochet hook and a smaller 5.5 hook. And to finish off the seams, a yarn needle. The dimensions of this bag are approximately 22 centimeters by 16 centimeters or 15.5 centimeters. It's an extremely simple tutorial, so even beginners will be able to make this bag. In the tutorial, we explain all the steps to follow to make it perfectly, so please follow all the steps carefully. As we mentioned before, to make this bag, you will only need a single ball of Pandorino yarn, which can be either the colored kind or the Lurex variety. Each ball contains 250 grams of yarn, and that amount is definitely more than enough for your project. So this is very simple. You can add an inner pouch to hold your items, and you can also use this bag as a crossbody by adding rings here and a meter of chain. These accessories can also be found on our shop, so now please go visit macrè_bag.it and follow the tutorial carefully. See you soon. Enjoy the video. We start by making the slip knot and 18 centimeters of chain stitches. I continue by making a first row of single crochets. I skip the first stitch, go into the second, and start making them until the end of the chains. In this very last stitch, I'll have to make 3 single crochets. This will help me turn the work and start making a row of single crochets on the other side of the chain as well. And now you see I'm continuing with single crochets on the other side as well. I'm carrying the shorter tail along to avoid sewing it in later, so I can close it off now. Let's keep going until we reach the other end. Here too, we'll show you the steps to follow. See, I've reached this point and now I need to make 2 stitches inside this one. Here I'll make 2. And not 3 because the first single crochet was already made at the start of the round. So we do 1 and 2. Now we pull the yarn and go into this little loop here. See, I grab the loop again, I pull it through and bring it out like this, in this way. Now I take the hook out again and insert the hook into the previous stitch. I turn. Now the yarn around the hook and pull it through. I pick up the old loop again, like this, yarn over and pull through both 1 and 2. And there we go, we've moved to the other side of the work. Now I'm going to add the stitch marker. This will help us identify where we started. And now we start making 5 chain stitches, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you see I skip the first stitch and the second, so I don't go in here or here, but into the third. And I make a single crochet again, 5 chain stitches, and once more, skip 2 stitches, go into the third. I'll have to continue like this until the other end. So 5 chain stitches, 1 single crochet, skipping 2 stitches. Once I reach the end, I always make 5 chain stitches, and here too I skip 1 and 2 stitches and go in here, exactly in the stitch corresponding to the initial chain. So now I insert the hook into the stitch, make a slip stitch, and continue in the other direction. See how the result looks for now? I'll have to work on the other side using exactly the same method. See here too? I skip 2 stitches and go into the corresponding single crochet on the other side, and the result will be this. And now I continue in the same way until I reach the other end. Having reached the initial end again, I now need to close the chain stitches. I go in here at this point, making a slip stitch right at the beginning, closing the round this way. At this point, I will need to go into the chain stitches here, making slip stitches as I go. I will make 3 slip stitches in total, one after another, until I reach the middle of the chains, which are 5 in total. This is the last one, and there we go. It's reached the middle. I'll make my 5 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to make a single crochet inside the next chain space. See, in this way, I continue with 5 more chain stitches and make another single crochet in the next one, like this, and I keep going by making these chains into the single crochets. You see, the single crochets aren't fixed. In fact, they move around quite easily, but that's perfectly fine. So we'll carry on, and now I'll just keep going. Always in the same way, I make my 5 chain stitches and the single crochet inside the loop. I'll also show you the starting point, which will be exactly the same as these. And there we go, you see the whole round. I'm back at the starting point where I made the slip stitches. Now, I'll simply redo my 5 chain stitches, which I've already done. I don't go in here inside this stitch, but I go inside this loop. And now we continue like this for all the rounds. We'll show you the bag almost finished. And here are the rounds. We've done 12 in total, always using only the same stitch. Now that we're back at the start, we'll begin with 2 more rounds. In this case, though, I won't do 5 chains anymore, but I'll do 3. And as before, I go back inside the arch and make a single crochet. Like this for 2 rounds. And here we are, we've completed the other 2 rounds as well. Now let's go back to the starting corner again, and let's make the handle too. I'll start by making 3 chains again and a single crochet in the little loop, like this. And I close it, 3 more chains and another single crochet here in the loop. Once I'm at this point, I pull the yarn and change the hook. I'll take a smaller one. So I've been working with a 6.5, now I'll work with a 5.5. I insert the new hook, make just 1 chain stitch and turn the work. Now I'll start making single crochets again. I go into these loops and make 1. Here, 2, 3, 4, and then I close it now. And the last one, number 5. I'll just make 1 more chain stitch here. Then I turn the work over again and do 5 more single crochets, making sure to go into each stitch carefully as I work my way across, going into every stitch of the previous round. Once all 5 are done, I'll do another row. So, chain stitch again, turn the work, and 5 more single crochets. And there you see, having reached this point, I'm going to close this part on the inside and start doing the seams. I have to insert the hook into the first loops, this one and the one below. I yarn over, and I'm going to make a single crochet. I continue by gently turning the work, carefully entering the other 2 side loops, this one and then this one. Now again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again and pull through. I continue with these types of stitches until my Romanian point lace has taken shape. Remember, at the beginning, it's a bit more complex to see. As the work progresses and forms, seeing the loops will become easier and easier. I'll show you the advanced work now. Once we have our handle, you see, with multiple sides and this shape, I've reached a length of about 22 centimeters. Now we'll show you how to sew it to the other end. Instead of continuing in the round as we've done so far, I'll go back and start making some simple single crochets. I start by making a chain, then I do 5 single crochets, starting from right to left. And here we start. This is number 2, and then next up we have the 3rd stitch. The 4th, as you can see, in the sequence. And the very last stitch, number 5, at this point here. Let's do it. These stitches are precisely to show that I've opened the lace, and now I can go and sew it. And I pull the thread tight, leaving about 20 to 30 centimeters. And now I'm going to work on the end of the bag as well. I take the center point of the corner here and count 2 and 2 from the other end. So I start from here, where I had to do in total now 5 stitches. You see, I bring the thread behind. I do the first single crochet. Now I do the second, the third, the 4th, and the last one, the 5th. These stitches are exactly identical to those on the other corner, and I've done 5 in total. I make a chain, turn the work, and I do another 5 double crochets again. I have 2, 3, 4, and the last one, 5. I go into this stitch, and there we go. I pull the thread Here too, it's about 20 centimeters and we start sewing. You see, we have to position it this way. So I take the yarn needle, insert a first thread and start sewing over and under. Roughly, I'll do the stitches with the same thread in the same spot at least twice. I do this with the thread attached to the handle, but I also do it afterwards with the thread attached to the base of the bag. I use both threads to be sure the seam is well secured and the bag won't break later on. Once the sewing is finished, we fasten the threads inside the handle. And now I'll show you the work is finished. Once all the steps are completed, this will be our bag, this will be the result. You see the handle that has been carefully sewn on one side. And the stitching is also on the other, all this mesh work, as you can see. Then this bag also takes on this slightly rounded shape, because in the last 2 points we made a smaller number of chains to give this effect. So I thank you for watching the video until now. We'll see each other in the next tutorial. Please, if you decide to make this bag, tag me on social media.